Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Ngani Titan. We're here in Pearl River, rain, standard battle, in the Tiger 2. Now, I haven't seen Pearl River in a long time, possibly 2 years. It's reappeared in the last week. I've had a couple of games in it. This is like the third one, but it was the first one on the North Spawn. I'd kind of half forgotten a lot of the subtleties of Pearl River, and what the basics are: you can advance south. You get into all kinds of trouble doing it. You can go through the central route there by the village. You can go through the village too, but that usually doesn't lead anywhere much, because you have a problem when you try and get out of the village. It's all open ground. Well, that's the problem with all of the routes, so to speak. The easternmost route sometimes is the most profitable because the ground isn't as open when you get out of it, but it's usually wall-to-wall heavy tanks, top-tier heavy tanks. And there's a lot of top-tier tanks that are well armoured. I'm not exactly bottom tier, but there's only 2 tier 7s and they're light tanks or something like that on our team, and there's quite a lot of tier 9s, and a lot of heavily armoured tier 9s. And another thing that I have been noticing, should we say, I've been observing, in that I've been a regular monitor of my stats, WN8 and other stats of these things, is always trying to improve my game, and I've effectively stalled out. I have not been improving over the last 3 or 4 months, maybe longer. I'm just bouncing around the same median level the whole time. And the one area that I could probably work on, because everyone says that if your gun is not in the game, you can't do damage, so is survival rate. Since the beginning, since I started playing, and pretty much up to now, I've had I started out I think with a 24% survival rate, and it's gone up to about 26% global survival rate, which is not much of an improvement really. I have a lot of games and all the rest of it, but at the same time my recent survival rates, my monthly survival rates, aren't usually that much better than my global survival rate. So my conviction is that I need to last longer. I need to up my survival rate to about 30% in order to increase my effectiveness. Because if I do that, then my gun is in the game more often than not. I mean, you're going to die in most of the matches you lose. So upping your survival rate past 60% is going to be really hard, and you want to do it without diminishing your effectiveness. So camping at the back and all that sort of stuff might up your survival rate, but then you're diminishing your effectiveness because you're not actually doing anything useful for your team, and you certainly don't want to keep your win rate. You want to keep your win rate and all the other stuff up. So I've pulled back here. The corner I was fighting at anyway was probably not the best spot to fight at, but it was just the T-32 initially. As soon as the T-30 appears, it's well worth pulling back, because now the enemy are at disadvantage. The T-30 or the whatever else is there is going to have to pull out and potentially at the very minimum face the two of us, because as soon as he fires we are going to be loaded, ready, waiting for him, because we've got slightly faster reloads. So he's going to get shot at twice for every time he gets shot at. He gets a shot off. And there's also the possibility of tanks back at the base joining in the fun, because anybody coming out past that corner is going to be exposed to people across the river. So they're going to be taking fire from multiple tanks for one shot, which is not a viable really position. They're going to lose hit points faster than they're going to do damage, and it's not a worthwhile trade really. So this is the sort of thing that I need to start paying attention to and remembering. Keep myself in a position, keep the gun in the game, and learning to relocate where necessary and when necessary, and that sort of stuff. So I'm not really going to get a useful shot off in the fatherland. So when to push, where to push, and being cautious about things is something I've not been sort of the best at now. T-30 dunks that one into the ground, I think. I'm not sure where that shot went. I'm still pretty much at full health. Fatherland's gone off to help the other side, so that means it's just the T-30 here. Now I reckon It was worth pushing the T-30 at this point because I can penetrate the front of the T-30. And since he bounced that shot, I thought, alright, I can take the hit. Because I should be able to match or beat his reload. As it turns out, he beat my reload, but I wasn't, not by much. And the Conqueror was also able to get the shot in, so that finishes the T-30. So that leaves just the Fatherland, because his friend has expired, and I'm going to track the Fatherland, that was what I was trying to do. So I track the Fatherland, which leaves him kind of helpless in the open, and he gets completely surrounded and taken out before I even get the reload in. And now we've cleared this area, but it's looking rather grim around the village. So I thought, okay, I need to come back here and help out in the village, and let's see what I can do. So there's the T-54E1 in the village, and there's a tank destroyer. Don't know what it is, and there's a way into the village over here somewhere. I've just forgotten where it is. It's not here, and because I knew it was in the bamboo forest, I suppose. I think I actually that gap there behind the buildings, but I wasn't sure when I drove in this time whether I could actually fit through there. But there's also a way into this wall here. So we come in. Bit of problems with control here. We're suffering a little bit of congestion. You can see the ping dipping a little bit. And we come to the corner and something lights me up, and there's a, my god, it's a T-95, and this is a real brown trouser moment because I have never until now managed to snapshot the tracks of a T-95 and actually track the damn things. But now that we've a tracked, we're going to take advantage of it. I'm going to keep it tracked, and we're going to keep shooting through the drive wheels until the thing is dead. Because if that thing got a shot off at me, and it might not kill me, but it might. It does a lot of damage. I'm not too sure how much, but it's a lot. T-54E1 did not shoot at me, which is very fortunate. He's a one-shot kill, but he's taken out by somebody behind him. And something behind him was then taken out by something else, probably that tiger up there, who is about to expire because he's way too far into our base, surrounded by tanks without having any allies support or a recourse or place to run to. So we come around this way, we have a T-95 for support, and however I think I want to get back into the village. I don't want to come around the southern end of the village on the outside, on the rice paddy field side, because there's no cover. If you run into something, there's a top tier heavy tank out there somewhere, and the chances are that it's fully loaded, fully full HP, and probably hasn't moved from its spawn area since the start of the game. Because why not? Why would you? You know, you can wait for the enemy to come to you, but that sort of camping generally doesn't do you much good. Certainly not in a game like this where everyone's going to arrive potentially from different directions, more or less at the same time. I am coming through the village. There's a heavy tank going around the south, and there's a medium going somewhere along there. So I spot him. It's a Type 4 heavy, and sure enough, he's got fully loaded with hit points. And we get a shot into his flank, and then he just keeps steaming this way. I mean, he knew we were coming. He could have gotten himself into some kind of cover beforehand. Now, I don't know idea where to shoot this stuff with regular ammunition from the front. I don't even know if I can penetrate it, even in theory. Probably not is the short answer, although the hitbox indicators indicate that I should be able to penetrate it, at least occasionally. But we want to avoid getting shot back by it. And more importantly, we want to avoid getting shot back by the artillery, because they definitely would finish me off. I'm not sure if the Type 4 would. He bounces a shot off me, but I skimmed that one off the side of the turret. And I need to get through these buildings, and I'm a bit panicked, so I'm actually sticking myself to the building rather than pull back the tank a little bit and straighten it out. But by the time I get through, he's been taken out, and there's just the artillery left, and it's pretty much game over. There's 3 tanks closing in on the artillery. Now he manages to take out one of them. And this is turning into a bit of a struggle. The artillery is putting up a fight. So will I get the shot off? Well, it's no, too late. He had gone below the crest of the lie of the land when I got that shot off, and the other tank finished them off. So, in the game. And let's look at the final results. It was a tense enough game when I was playing it, but 2,785 damage, 3,000 assisted damage, and I think that's what tipped the score. I mean, the fact that I think a lot of my direct damage was done to high tier tanks, the T-13, the T-95, and the 3,000 assisted damage is what tipped this into an ace tanker match. The tracking shots were very valuable. They accounted for about half the assisted damage. So, because I've had like 2,000, 3,000 direct damage gains before with no assisted damage and not gotten a ace tanker, so I think the extra stuff definitely makes a difference. Looking at the team results in more detail there, you see the Conqueror did pretty well. He came second by experience, 4,000 damage, which is not bad. The RM3 M55 had a ball of a game, 5,000 damage, and the KV4 did pretty well as well. Don't know where that Object 704 was operating from. The T-30, for instance, does 852 damage. That's kind of poor for a T-30, but at the same time, the circumstances he was operating in was completely against him. He was trying to push out against multiple tanks, and he really didn't have time to aim his shots and make use of his gun handling. Because I think the gun handling on the T-30, I have the T-30 unlocked, but I haven't played too many games in it, and I don't think I have the top gun yet. But my understanding is the gun handling is kind of poor on the T-30, so he's at a huge disadvantage trying to get shots off when he's under fire from multiple people. Now, to be honest with you, I think at that corner the enemy should have pulled right back, and brought right back to the very end, down near the village, so that the Type 4 Heavy could be brought into the game. He'd be forced to come into the game and be sniping at us from across the paddy fields on the south side near the spawn. I mean, the numbers at the corner, it might have seemed a fair fight initially, in the sense there was two of us on the western side against two of them, I think, and there was two of us on the other side, the village side, against three of them. But the two of us on the village side pulled back rather promptly, and we had supporting fire then from across the river, whereas they were pushing out into fire from multiple tanks, and therefore had a huge disadvantage. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and a share, and if you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. Bye for now, and I'll catch you all again soon.